Do you ever wonder why certain movies are simply a disaster? Are they truly garbage? Or perhaps they are misunderstood?
Welcome to the main course of cinematic catastrophe that is Le Crap, with your gourmet, Chef Bri and Chef Gio.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Le Crap. My name is Bri.
And my name is Gio.
Okay, so I know the last movie admittedly was kind of bad. So our premise is hidden gems. So I don't know, like maybe we could try to find something that might be good / doesn't make us want to crawl in a hole and die.
Yeah, so I might actually have one in mind.
Okay.
It's about a bear.
Oh.
It's about a bear massacring people.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, so are we gonna have to do a content warning for this?
probably because I don't know how far the movie itself goes with it, but it's based on a real event, and the details of said event were kind of pretty gruesome.
So what was this bear adjacent event?
So, a bit of backstory for this. There's going to be a lot of backstory for this. So, recently, I went up to Chicago for a few days. It was really, really fun, but also really, really exhausting, but neither here nor there. One of the last things we did is we went to a zoo, saw a lot of stuff there that I don't usually see down in the South. And one of the things I saw over there was a pair of brown bears. Now, me being the animal nerd I am, I just went ahead and went on a binge of just looking up info on a bunch of different animals. And then when I got to the brown bears, I came across a 1915 incident in Japan involving a brown bear attacking a village and doing what angry brown bears do, and that's cause a lot of violence and death. So, this was called the Sankebetsu bear attack. It occurred in December of 1915 over the course of 6 days in a remote section of Hokkaido, where a massive brown bear, roughly 750 pounds and nearly 9 feet tall, when it was shot, repeatedly attacked a village over the course of several days, killing 7, injuring 3, including, unfortunately, several children, before it was eventually shot and killed, and it is still referred to as the worst animal attack in Japanese history. Now, the thing about this bear is that it actually seemed to learn and adapt on the spot, as it pretty much outmaneuvered and outsmarted the hunters over several days. And what was also crazy about this is that at one point, someone from the village went and sought out a well-known bear hunter to try and see if he could help out, but the bear hunter just said, "Nope, I sold my rifle for booze. Good luck."
He is like, yeah, I ain't touching that mess with a 200-foot pole.
Yeah. So, with the kind of twists and turns that were involved with this, it does make sense that eventually somebody would make a movie out of it. And make a movie out of it they did. That movie being 1990's Yellow Fangs, also known as Remain's Beautiful Heroes. Now, what really drew my attention to this movie was the people involved in it. So, one of the main minds behind this movie, well, the movie itself was made by Japan Action Enterprises as its 20th anniversary project. And Japan Action Enterprises was the movie company of Sonny Chiba. Now, who was Sonny Chiba? Well, he was just one of the most prominent action movie stars ever. I mean, this guy was pretty much the premier Japanese action star for decades. I mean, over 125 film roles to his credit.
Jesus.
And Western audiences would probably know him best from movies like Kill Bill Volume 1 and Fast and the Furious 3. And he was still active for pretty much his entire life up until he passed away in 2021 from COVID at the age of 82.
Damn.
Yeah, he was still working up to the end. Now, when Chibo first started formulating this movie, he went to one of his longtime associates, British film specialist Kinji Fukusaku, to direct the movie. But Fukusaku instead encouraged him to do the directing himself, which would end up being his directorial debut. Now, They went ahead, cast several roles, including one Mika Muramatsu as the main heroine, Yuki, a role that actually netted her the New Actor Award at the Japan Academy Film Prize. So there was one other name involved in this, the main hero, the main male lead. And for the main lead role of Eiji, I think that's how it's pronounced, Chiba went ahead and selected his longtime protege, a then 29-year-old lifelong industry veteran by the name of Hiroyuki Sanada.
Wait, that's Sonata?
Yes, the Sanada you're thinking of.
Oh my god, I love Shogun so much!
I know that I cannot say enough good things about Shogun, but this came long before he started gaining a lot more mainstream attention with the likes of Shogun or Bullet Train or John Wick Chapter 4. And when I say lifelong, I mean lifelong. I mean, Sonata was acting since the age of 5.
Holy
That is how
crap.
long he has been at this. Like, by the time he was cast in this movie, he had already had over 2 decades of acting experience under his belt. And you really can't tell the story of Sonata without Chiba, because he was mentored by Chiba from the get-go, with the original intention of him following in his footsteps to be an action star. And you could really see that in a lot of his recent roles, including Bullet Train or John Wick 4, where you still see that action movie pedigree. But by around the late 80s, early 90s, he had transitioned more into dramatic roles. And like I said, by the time this movie came around, he was only 29, and he had already had over 20 years of experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's like when I first found out about this movie and started looking into it, and I saw an action movie star directed this movie. That's kind of neat. Wait, the lead was who?
I just, it's crazy. Especially since, like you said, Sonata's been around for a while, but like in terms of our familiarity in like Hollywood and the American film system, it's like rather recent.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that he has been acting for about 6 decades at this point. And like, it's only really recently I feel that he started to get his flowers, at least when it comes to like Western notoriety.
I mean, it's crazy. Like his biggest role, like a few years ago, was that one scene in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, that one scene where he gets killed by Hawkeye at the start. Then the roles started coming in. Came Bullet Train, then came John Wick 4, and then, of course, the crown jewel of them all was Shogun. Like, this guy can do it all, basically. And I mean, case in point, I think he was actually the musical director for this movie.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's skilled in like every facet. This guy is it. And I was just really curious about this movie because, I mean, we're mostly familiar with his more recent roles.
I mean, this film's like almost 35 years old at this point.
Yeah, this is still in what you would call, well, I wouldn't even say it's the early stages because, again, he would have been acting over 20 years by this point.
But the other thing that I kind of found like interesting and kind of parallel some of our earlier episodes, the Japan attack was in 1915, right?
Correct.
So oddly enough, the Jersey Shore, what was believed to be either a great white or bull shark attack that happened in 1916 that I believe killed 4 people, and what Jaws is loosely based on. So in like real life, they kind of happen like within a year of each other. And I think in both of those cases, a lot of those attacks are now believed to be the result of human encroachment.
Because when you look up the bear attack, like one of the prevailing theories is that this was caused in part by human deforestation, bringing the bears up closer. Another theory was that it woke up early from a hibernation, and when that happens, bears tend to be a lot more aggressive. But since the attack happened, God, over 100 years ago now by this point, we probably won't ever know for sure.
I know. I found that fascinating. And then because we were talking about like both the Sharktopuses a couple episodes ago, and again, like those kind of shark movies would not exist without the success of Jaws. So it's kind of interesting that both these films are kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched, but I kind of feel like are in like a similar vein and how they handle their subject matter, and they both happen to be inspired by real life events. I just kind of think that's neat.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it is kind of crazy that some things just wouldn't have happened without these kind of real life events happening, and the fact that they do happen like so close together. But I mean, I'm curious. I think this will be good just because of the names involved. I'm hopeful that it's good.
Yeah, I was just kind of get curious too. And you know what? Like, this is just a little side tangent, but I kind of like sent you that link of Japanese live action films yesterday. But it's kind of a shame that, unlike a lot of other films in the Asian film market, a lot of like live action Japanese films that aren't attached to like a major IP tend to have a hard time coming to America without like being very, very heavily localized. So it's nice to, kind of watch something, as much as we both love anime. I mean, we primarily became friends in the first place. It's just nice to kind of watch something that's a little different.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully, this is something more akin to a Sharknado Chinese version than, say, the other Japanese movie that we watched. The Death, whatever the hell. I mean, I forget. I even watched
Oh
that
God,
movie.
Death Kappa. Yeah, what a big ball of nothingness. No, but I'm actually kind of feeling good vibes about this. But like we said, the content warning. So we're gonna watch the movie, give you our thoughts, but just fair warning, there might be some discussion about a little gore. We're not gonna hopefully get into super detail, but if that subject makes you uncomfortable, I suggest perhaps tapping out, but we hope you stay. So we're gonna play a little snippet of the trailer, and when we come back, we'll give you our thoughts.
仲間だろでないですか。
んだ間違いねえ。
仲間だな。
あの熊のあんたのだ。あいつは女をしか食わね
さあ出てこう赤間だな。
リメイン美しきつわものたち。
Yogi, women are like cars. You can get a new one whenever you want. But you always want to keep the old one in good condition in case you need it again. Ooh, Yogi, I've been shot by a woman.
God damn it.
Jesus, God damn it.
But honestly, the misogyny, like, women shouldn't go into the mountains. So I just figured I'd use a supposed Andrew Tate quote. Because honestly, fuck that noise. But anyway, the movie slapped.
Yeah, agreed. Movie was pretty good. And like, as far as the misogyny goes, you have to remember too, 1910s Japan.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's something I attribute to like the director or anything. But I'm like, yeah, it's some bullshit. And you know what? Go Yuki.
Oh, absolutely. I can see how the actress won an award for this.
Oh yeah, like girl was determined. She's like, I won't do anything till I kill that fucking bear. That bear ruined my life. Like, literally, like, that's not a joke. Like, that bear, like, literally, like, ruined her life.
Killed pretty much everybody except the dog.
Which, by the way, Meru, the dog, and I was looking at what Meru meant, if it was, like, an Americanized name, but I think Meru, how they mean it is in reference to Mount Meru, which is, basically, like, the sacred, like, five-peaked mountain in Hindu and Jain and, like, Buddhist mythology, often seen as the center of the universe, which, by the way, this dog is the center of my universe.
Well, so hey, it fits.
Yeah, but seriously, that dog, holy crap.
That doggo was the MVP.
Like, when that doggo went in slow motion, I was like, oh yeah, shit. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. But I guess we should probably talk a little bit more about the plot of this movie in order, so this makes somewhat sense.
Yeah. So to start off, we start with a scene straight out of Halloween where we start from the bear's perspective and we just hear its breathing as it like breaks into a cabin and kills two people.
From what I read, the brown bear in this attack was like massive, even for brown bear standards.
Yeah, that horse is like, no.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Okay. All right, so we're just really getting right into it. Yeah, this bear murks a lot of people.
Yeah. So the bear kills the husband, makes off with the wife, which, by the way, this is like the most misogynistic bear ever because it's repeatedly stated that it only eats women.
Yeah, like, I know we were making, like, the boo-boo Andrew Tate joke, but I'm like, literally, like, this bear is like Gamergate bear. It just hates the women so much.
Yeah, so after that happens, we're introduced to the hunting party, the bear hunters, among which is Sonata's character of Eiji, which, by the way, I'll say this. Obviously, he's babyface Sonata in this movie. Like, his voice is obviously lighter, but there's also moments where you can hear that signature raspy old man Sonata voice.
Yeah, prequel Sonata old man voice.
So the hunting party goes out into the mountains, which, by the way, the cinematography in this movie was chef's kiss.
Gorgeous. Yeah, like, it just felt so, like, desolate. And the fact that in a lot of the times you don't hear, like, any music, like, it is, like, such a mood, and it really just kind of heightens, like, how isolated that these people are. Like, no one's coming to save them. So they need to take care of this bear who's just a goddamn menace.
Yeah, so they're not able to. Well, they do come across a bear, and this is where we have to bring up the bear itself.
Right.
So in most scenes where the bear is just by itself, it is clearly just a real bear, a trained bear, obviously, but it is very clearly a real bear. But in scenes where it's interacting with humans, it is quite apparently a guy in a bear costume.
Yeah, like, the straight up, like, at some points, like, this bear, like, judo chops.
Yeah, there's some scenes where it can pass off as a bear, but other times where its dude is just running like a normal human, and it's like, oh, okay. All right.
Like, I mean, we've all seen that one video of, like, the bear just, like, awkwardly walking on twos, but yeah, no, clearly dude in suit.
Yeah, which is a shame because when you do see it, it does kind of take you out of the moody atmosphere a bit, when you can very obviously tell that this is just a dude in a bear costume.
Well, I think a lot of it is that, you know, most of us have, like, grown up with, like, CG or, like, high-end, like, animatronics, that when you see stuff like this, our suspension of disbelief is kind of reduced. I mean, like, if you went like 30, 40 years ago, I don't think anyone would like, his question. It would be like, yeah, that's a bear. But I guess like our standards have like skewed so much that the suspension of disbelief is a lot harder to pull off.
Yeah. And to be fair, too, it was also, for safety reasons. Because obviously you're not going to have people in the same close proximity for long periods with an actual brown bear, no matter how trained it is.
Yeah, because the bear's still, gonna bear. But they did use like bullet glass for this at that point. I'm guessing for the scenes where real bear like lunged, but anytime like the bear is like in a building, clearly, guy in a suit. Like I almost kind of wish that it had been more of like a puppet. Like, I'm not saying like a full animatronic because I don't think this movie had like the budget for it, but kind of almost like what they did with like Jaws, just have it be like, a bear puppet versus like seeing the bear full. I kind of feel like that would have sold the illusion like a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. But again, you have to understand that time period we're in. We're obviously not going to have like cocaine bear levels of CGI.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is like pre Jurassic Park. I mean, like, even in Hollywood, CGI was, like, barely a thing. Like, I think at this point, the most insane VFX shot was the water in the abyss. Because T2 hadn't even happened yet at this point.
Yeah, so they were working with what they had. But, like, that's only, like, a minor complaint.
Yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed it. It's just, like, and it's not in, like, every shot either. Like, when the actor who's playing the bear is on all fours, like, the one good thing is they don't actually shoot it from the face up, so it kind of sells it more. But if it's like a shot where you see that bear's full face, and it's like very obvious cutting from like a human actor to like an actual bear, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, so going back to the plot. So the hunting party tracks down a bear. And by the way, during this scene where like the hunters are like jumping up into the snow, this is when you can tell that this was made by a martial arts actor.
Oh, for sure.
And you could also tell that with the soundtrack at times too. Like this is very 90s martial arts movie.
Yeah, which by the way, because I brought this up while we were kind of watching. So the score was done by Ko Atani, I believe. And Ko Atani would later go on to do multiple soundtracks in the Godzilla, Toho, Monster verse, whatever it's officially called. Like, he did the score for Gamera, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Monsters All Out Attack, and then I think the later Gamera ones. He also notably did Gundam Wing.
Yeah, so the soundtrack to this was at times I felt like it was a little out of place, like when they start breaking out into like a saxophone number.
It was so 90s though.
It was.
You couldn't even get mad of it though, because I was joking. Legit, it sounded like the bomb ass Weather Channel tracks that they used to have, and I kept waiting for local on the 8s. Here's your 7-day weather forecast. Snow, blood, terror.
Jesus. You know who these guys need to call? Zangief from Street Fighter. He literally wrestles bears.
Oh yeah, like we need extra bears. It sounded better in my head.
Just give Red Spots a couple of atomic busters. He'll be done.
Yeah, he'll be begging for mercy, just waiting for it all to end.
Oh, damn. We getting jazzy up in the 1910s.
Oh, yeah. We're hunting bears. You know, low-key, I appreciate this sounds like some of the bangers that they used to have in the Weather Channel. Like, local on the 8s. I mean, low-key, doesn't it sound like that?
Like, this sounds like a 90s martial arts movie.
Oh yeah, this is so 90s. I love it.
But yeah, so They find the bear, they start to engage with it, and then out of nowhere, the heroes of this movie pop in. Meru the husky dog and Yuki. And they kill that bear, but they quickly realize that it's not the one they're looking for.
It was just a bear trying to bear.
Just a bear minding its own bear business and just gets wasted.
Rip bear.
So from this point on, and what takes up the bulk of this movie, it goes to a flashback to a year prior, where we learn that Eiji and Yuki were childhood friends. Yuki's come back from the village, come back to their village, sorry. Which, by the way, this is like the one time I've ever seen Sonata without a mustache, and it was just throwing me off so much.
Oh, it was too, because he is like pure like baby face. Like, there's certain people, you see them without facial hair, and it's like, what's wrong with you? You feel like a disturbance. Like, I remember I told you this, like, God, what was it, like a year or two ago? That one time that Harper shaved his face, and it was like so wrong.
Oh, God, I don't even want to think about it. Ugh.
I know,
Yeah.
and it was like, Bryce, bro, what the fuck? Bring that shit back. No one wants to see your fucking actual face.
Yeah. I haven't had a completely clean shaven face since freshman year of college, but like on my like original college ID, and I think on my, am I still baby face on my like, no, I think I have a beard on my driver's license. I think it's my passport that I'm still like baby face Gio, and it's like, oh God.
I know. It like, honestly, like, to me, like, this would be like the girl equivalent of that. I used to have bangs, and I finally got my new ID, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't look like shit. This is great.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh yay, now I don't have to get carded anymore.
But yeah, it's just sometimes I don't know. Let's get back on track.
Yeah, sorry, little facial hair tangent. The point is, weird to see Sonata without facial hair, and like you could even see like where he had shaved. It felt like he had just shaved before they shot these parts.
Yeah, he's like, little bit of 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh, so yeah. Yuki comes back to their village. Her dad's not happy about that because he wanted her to work at like the village chief or whatever. And like it's established from the beginning, this girl is an ass kicker. Like she left like her old job because the boss's son was like hitting on her, so she like knocked him out.
Yeah, the men in her life are assholes, and she's like, nah, I'm fucking Yuki. And I don't know what her last name is, but she's badass.
Oh yeah. So we spent a little time around them, and then she leaves home. Her dad kicks her out, and a few minutes later, the bear comes in and kills her parents and her little brother.
Like, horrifically. Which, yeah, obviously, like, a lot of these characters are like fictionalized placeholders, kind of like, you know, Jack and Rose in Titanic, surrounded by like actual like historical figures. But yeah, obviously her family is to stand in for like one of the main victims of the actual attack, where unfortunately children did pass away because of the attack.
Yeah. So obviously she is mortified. She is devastated. And then she like begs the hunting party to let her go along. And they start talking about like the bear hunters rule book, where like women can't go into the mountains and all this other stuff.
Because we might get distracted and worry. And she's like, fuck off? Like, my family just died and you just want me to sit here? No. Nope. If women can't go to the mountains, then I'm gonna chop my hair off and be a boy. See y'all.
Yeah, so she takes off with Meru into the mountains and with a rifle and just starts hunting down the bear, which then elicits the attention of the local copper miners, which what this movie also does is makes it very clear who the actual villains of this are, and they make it very clear that, like, they don't explicitly say it, but you can tell that it's what they're going for and saying that the copper mine people are just blowing up parts of the mountain
And
and
disturbing the wildlife and, like, the villagers' way of life, that literally capitalism is the villain here.
Yep. So what we are to infer from this is that the bear has been agitated by people blowing up the mountain. So the hunting party goes into the mountains chasing after the bear. They run into Yuki. Her and AG get into a fight. She gets mega pissed and then runs off. And then is the scene after that the festival?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, after the encounter with local prefecture officials and Yuki like literally drop kicks one of them.
Oh yeah. Can we talk about like how petty these guys are?
Yes.
Because like
Oh yeah, no, they suck.
prefecture guys are like all pissy because Yuki shot a pheasant near them, and like one of them fell off his horse, and now they're gonna bully the villagers into giving her.
And they called it poaching. I'm like really? Like you're gonna abuse all these people because she shot a fucking bird?
Yay, capitalism! So they basically bully the village people into working for the mine, and AG's like, no, fuck this, I'm a bear hunter. So next scene is the festival.
I believe so.
Yeah, so village starts having a festival. Was he the village chief or was he just the leader of the bear hunters?
He was the he's called chief, so I think he's the village chief and like the chief bear hunter.
All right, that sounds right. So AG and the chief of the village, they're walking amongst the festival. They're asking this one like shop owner.
Yeah, he's some sort of shop owner or like a trader because they basically trade some furs and like meat or whatever for like rice and miso.
Right. So they're asking him if he's seen any bear. And well, actually, no, they mentioned the rice and miso, and that reminds him that like a quote unquote boy came around with a dog asking for the same things, and then they realize, oh shit, that's Yuki. But like by this point, she's cut her hair to look like a boy. Which, by the way, it was this scene, I think you pointed this out, that you loved how like the contrast, because at one point AG thinks that he sees Yuki in the crowd and she's like all like dark and like covered in dirt, and it's just set against like the festival, which is like all filled with color, and it's like that was just a really good imagery.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice contrast because that's where her character is now. Like, she was this bright and colorful person, and then the attack changed her. So she's just gray and drab and just not that person anymore.
Yeah, she is pretty much just consumed by revenge at this point. So while the hunters are walking around, our good friend Red Spots the bear shows up and he attacks the shopkeep they were just talking to. He attacks his wife and drags her off. And this is where this starts to get really fucked up again, because they go chasing after the bear. They bring this poor guy along, and like when they find like what's left of her, this is just like a few pieces of clothing and like parts of her hair.
And like a little bit of like flesh. Like it's not like super gory, but it's really like fucked up. So Red Spots is like the literal translated name, but the name in Japanese is Akamadara, I believe is how it's pronounced, which literally means red spots. So this demonic misogynistic creature is just going all over the place. And I do like how they don't treat the actual victims of the attack as like this spectacle, like a gore, kind of like a Saw, like gore porn or whatever like that. But it's treated as like an actual like tragedy, and like you still get like the blood and the violence, but I felt like they handled it tastefully.
Yeah, like this isn't like a normal slasher film, where like the kills are what you're waiting for. Like the kills just happen instead of like actually having an impact. No, like when the bear kills people in this movie, the people that are left behind are fucked up by it. Like this is heavily like impacting them. Like they don't sugarcoat it at all.
Yeah, no, lives are like literally destroyed.
Yeah, all this time is in a flashback, by the way. So I think it's from here where they finally jump back ahead to the present.
Yeah, we do a quick recap in like of like 30 seconds of like the scenes that we just saw saying, "Oh, hey, this is where we're at. We're going back to here now."
Yeah, so we're back in the present. The hunters go to the village where the attack at the beginning of the movie happened, and all the women and children are evacuated. So it's just the men in the village now, and they're thinking, oh, the bear is not going to come after us because, there's no women here and the bear only eats women. And then AG finds Yuki in the village tending to Meru because poor Pupper got hurt by the bear in the last scene. So the bear shows up again.
Yes.
Scares the crap out of this one dude.
Yeah, I mentioned this in our commentary. When they said, oh, it's, at night and we're gonna get drunk, I'm like, that bear's gonna show up.
Oh, yeah.
Why do I think that bear's about to come back again?
Yeah, they just triggered it.
That's the alcohol. Mocking a bear. What could possibly go wrong? There he is. Definitely looks like a bear fucked that shit up.
We've seen this set up a bunch where they're just sitting around partying and then the monster shows up, and that's exactly what happens. So the village chief is like, all right, so clearly this group hunting thing isn't working, so it's every man for himself. So AG takes up shop in a cabin, covers it with like women's clothing, and like wears a kimono thinking that that's going to attract the bear. And then Yuki and Meru show up. She's basically intent on using herself as bait, and rips off her clothes, and like underneath is like she has like all these like bullets hanging around her neck, and she's like,
yeah, like she is like locked and loaded. Like she legit looks like fucking Rambo.
yeah, she's gonna kill this fucking bear one way or the other. And lo and behold, Red Spots shows up. They engage in this long fight scene, and again, this whole time it's a dude in a bear suit.
I know, like that was the one thing. Like, I think it was still a good climax, but not gonna lie, some goofy ass shit happened here.
Yeah, the aforementioned judo chop. There was like one moment where the bear is like running towards them, and you can clearly tell it's a dude in a suit. But eventually they do shoot the bear. The cabin they're in collapses. AG carries Yuki out, and then they see like the body of the bear like underneath like all the rubble. AG talks about how like the bear's hot blood is melting the snow. And, like there's an old legend that says that once a bear, that the smoke coming out is like the bear ascending to heaven and like becoming a god. And then they kiss, and Meru howls in approval, and that's the movie.
And then we get the most 90s ass like Japanese pop song at the end.
Only way we could have concluded.
My god, this is the most 90s pop Japanese song.
Yep.
But the doggo made it, so it's all good.
I've become a god, Yogi. I have ascended to a plane beyond mortal understanding.
God damn it. Oh, for sure. Like, overall, I really enjoyed this. Like, unintentional, goofy moments aside, I thought this was like a really compelling character drama. I do like the choice of having like the two leads just to kind of have like an emotional byline. Because otherwise, I feel like this movie would just kind of be like gory bear attacks. And like, I don't think that's necessarily like what, the point of this was supposed to be, or necessarily what people want to like remember. This is more about people dealing with tragedy than something like a bad Jaws ripoff would do.
Yeah, no, like they absolutely wanted this to be like AG and Yuki's bond and their like response to the trauma, because like even a year later, Yuki is still very obviously like torn up about what had happened.
like, low key, because I kind of feel like this comparison's appropriate. This movie basically feels like if the entire sequence of Alex Kincher's death in Jaws was an entire movie.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, as goofy as this thing can get at times, like, it is a heavy, heavy movie at other times. Like, there is the 90s of it with, like, the soundtrack and, like, the bear costume. But,
Yeah, and the
like,
slow motion, like, snow, like, going down the hill like badasses.
there are times where you can clearly tell that this movie was heavily influenced by two martial arts actors.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, it is very much, like, a product of his time. I'm just, like, straight up I forget. Did they still have Crystal Pepsi in the early 90s?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look it up at some point, but it very feels, like, so specifically, like, 1990.
Yeah, we got the soundtrack, we got the action shots, but like, yeah, like you wouldn't have guessed that this was Chiba's directorial debut.
No, I thought he did a good job, and by the way, I was off. Crystal Pepsi existed from, like, 92 to 94, so I was off by 2 years, but regardless, I just yeah, this movie just screams, like, 90s, and then you know what the nice thing about it is? That for as 90s as it was, I kind of feel like it avoided, like, a lot of those typical pitfalls from, like, 90 horror, like, action movies.
Yeah, definitely. Like, as 90s as it could get, it stayed as like a period piece.
Yeah, which, by the way, I feel like we addressed this earlier, those costumes, like, are gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we brought this up before, like the contrast between like Yuki being so like dark and grim against like this colorful background.
Like, the costumes during the festival scene, those were crazy.
Yeah, like I feel like they had to make the costumes like really stand and jump out because most of the movie takes place like in the snow.
Yeah.
So you really needed something to like stand out against just like a sea of white, basically.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like I don't think Chiba actually directed that much after this. But like yeah, like I thought the cinematography was great, the costume design was great. Again, you could tell like when his martial arts expertise came in with like some of the action shots.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even then, like it always had this same like grim, morose tone to it.
Yeah.
Like it never forgot like what the movie was about, which was this horrific bear attack. And like it made that emotional weight stay throughout the entire movie because right to the very end you could see like how much it was weighing on Yuki, just everything that had happened.
Yeah. But again, I kind of feel like say, but just to reiterate it again, I think it was good that, I mean, we had the group of like hunters a bit, but I feel like they made the right choice of having just a couple characters that we really focus on because I feel like it keeps the movie being, grounded.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, and we're seeing this even now with a movie like Godzilla Minus One, where it's nice to have a monster movie where the monster is just destroying everything in sight. But it does help to have that emotional weight to it. Like, we should care about the characters on screen and what happens to them. Like, we should want the characters to, like, survive and not just be fodder for some giant monstrosity.
Yeah.
Because, like, it does make those moments where a character dies and, like, a character is, like, reacting to it, like, it makes it feel more weighty. Like, it's not just like a generic slasher movie where like a character dies and then like everyone just forgets about it 2 seconds later.
Yeah. When the victims of the bear, die or they find their remains, like, it changes like the trajectory of like everything and adds motivation for our main characters to like get this creature before it destroys more families.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, overall, this was a very, very good, heavy movie. Very good directorial turn from Chiba. And it's good to see that, yeah, this was always Sonata. This was like 35 years ago, but that was still very much Sonata being Sonata.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. Like you were saying earlier, there are certain patterns of his speech. They're like, ah, that's the sonata I remember. Which, oh, by the way, we didn't address this earlier.
Oh, I
So,
think I was meaning to bring this up. So we were a bit confused at the beginning because, like, when the credits were rolling with, like, starring such and such, it was a bit confusing at first because it credited him as Henry Sonata. And, like, I was really confused at first. Like, I thought maybe it was a thing where he was, like, paying homage to Chiba because, Sonny isn't his real name. It's just a stage name. Just like I was thinking maybe he's just, like, changing his name up to, like, pay homage to him. But you were saying, like, in his early career, he would go by, like, a few different aliases or stage names, rather.
yeah. So I'm looking on the Helix wiki and a few other interviews that it references. So apparently early in his career, Sonata was often credited as either Henry, Harry, or Duke Sonata. Because originally I was looking through it, I was like, did they mistranslate like the subtitles? Because there's a few like little like grammar things, but it's free subtitles. Like for the most part, the subtitles were like fine, but I was like, is that a mistranslation? And nope, that's just apparently a thing that he did.
Yeah, that threw me off at first, but, like, it's still Sonata being Sonata. And, like, that scene near the end where he was just sitting and waiting for the bear to come to him, like, I saw Yoshi Toranaga right then and there.
For
That
sure.
that
Like
was
that look in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
it was 35 or no, Shogun was last year, wasn't it? God.
It's 2024, so 34 years,
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
yeah, it might have been 34 years early, but yeah, that was Toranaga right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But also shout out to the actress who played Yuki because my god,
Oh yeah, she was phenomenal.
like I could absolutely see how she won an award for this because yeah, I mean she did the badass well, but she also did like the emotional moments phenomenally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mika Muramatsu was her name. Yeah, bravo. Like she did phenomenal.
Yeah, good job, Mika. You did it. So I was actually looking at her IMDb. She did do a few other films after this, but I don't think she did much after like the late 90s, which is kind of a shame, but she is absolutely phenomenal in this film.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was having a hard time finding it because like Wikipedia didn't have like a hyperlink on her name, so I wasn't able to look up anything there. But yeah, she did an outstanding job. Really everybody in this movie did.
But yeah, I think this was a nice change of pace for us because even then we still had like some goofy moments and like things to talk about. But I would say if you're interested in like one of those true life movies that's not like too hokey, I would probably pop this one on.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely a good change of pace from the
Bear
last
on the
movie we
way.
did.
Hey, bear on the wall.
Please no. Damn it, no.
Taste it. Sorry, like that movie was the worst, but also the best. But hey, let's get out of here. Gio, where can everyone find you?
So if you so desire, I am on Blue Sky at evking.bsky.social if you want to hear me gripe about all sorts of things, because there's all sorts of things to gripe about these days, but that's neither here nor there.
Right. Which, by the way, the night that we're recording this is SummerSlam. This was infinitely a better choice because I saw your post and
Oh yeah. So I kind of gave up on watching WWE a while back because I was just sick of a lot. But like I've been thinking at points, maybe I should give it another chance. Was it the right move to go away from it? And then I saw that there was a match tonight with Randy Orton teaming up with Jelly Roll to fight Drew McIntyre and He Who Shall Not Be Named. I think I made the right decision.
like it's like bad fan fiction. Like, literally. I'm like, what the fuck are we even doing here? Which, if you want to see what the hell I'm doing, you can follow me at crazylemur.beatsguide.social. I'm also on Instagram at lemurs1. I will probably say something that's out of pocket. So if you're into that, good for you. Follow me. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Le Crap. We'll see you all next time.
Yee.
Bars. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus!
Damn.